Good day to you peeps, Liesl here once more, and today I am delighted to be bringing to us all Bits Between the Bits 2026. So let's chat and straight in. Now, at the end of last year we were planning our US Mailbox base build, and if you do remember, I did acquire this, which is a mailbox. And I did decide that due to the weight of this beast and the general size, that it perhaps would be best to build an upright base, so more like a double bass really, than a horizontal one, as in a bass guitar, which is what I have decided to do. I did decide to repurpose the neck from our last bass build, as I wasn't too happy with it. The playability was okay, but the size of the body was a bit of an impediment. So I thought we could repurpose this neck anyway, slam it on here somehow, build a tailpiece. And I did find this again, which is a threaded metal pole. It used to have something ornamental on the top. And I did think that maybe we could make the end pin the base. We'll see. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about this at all, as it does have a lid that opens that way and what have you, but more on that later. So I will be consulting with Professor Liesl actually on a lot of this, because I think it could get a bit technical. So there's that basically, and I will keep as I'm trying not to make a Liesl joke here, but I'm going to have to. I will keep us posted on this, okay? Moving swiftly on. Do forgive me. Now, our feature build for this first quarter of the year is going to be, as you know, if you've already seen, Liesl-core, everything Liesl would want in a cigar box guitar, for which we are going to use this beautiful My Father's cigar box. I've cut the aperture and created the neck blank, which I hope you can see because the sun has decided to come out right during filming, which is nice, but against the white wall it's a little bit difficult to see the blank, but there'll be more on that. And there it is. I will be answering questions about how to build a neck and how to keep it stable within the body of the instrument, in other words, to stop it tilting that way and that way, which nearly all of my original builds did. Can actually get a good sound like that, but yeah, we did have questions on this, so I will be discussing those basically during this build. Yeah, 1 or 2 videos on that. And thanks to all of you that asked. Mountain Mike, you were one person that asked. Yeah, more on that later anyway. So that's that. Now this will slot in here, only I have to trim the aperture a little more to get it to fit. I did want that nice and tight. I didn't want too much of a gap around there, which is why I was cautious when I was cutting it out. Yeah, packed the corners, as you can see. We did that last time. Yep, so yeah, we're good to go on this one, and there will be more very soon on this particular build. And there it is. Now often I do like to have a side project on the go, like you say, something to do while you're waiting for wood to dry, or if you just get a little bit stuck. And it was quite an incredible piece of synchronicity that led me to this one. I will say, if you've seen the community post, you'll have some idea. I will explain. So I was looking at this rather beautiful Arvo Uvasian box the other day, thinking it's really nice. I'd like to make something with it. And I was drawn to this logo on the front, which, as you can see, is actually an A and a V. And I was thinking, where have I seen this? I mean, obviously Avo Uvasian is A and U, so I didn't think it's actually his initials, right? I did discover actually that Avo Uvasian was actually a jazz pianist, yeah, who later produce cigars, basically. Having met with someone from the Davidoff company, I do believe, he decided to change career and start making cigars instead. A bit like Rocky Patel, really. Yeah, he kind of changed career, didn't he, and started making cigars. I guess that's quite lucrative. But more on him later. Do listen to some of his piano playing. I would, on YouTube, because it's really good if you like jazz. I think you'll enjoy that. So I was thinking, where have I seen this logo? And it suddenly occurred to me at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, and various other buildings that were commissioned by Prince Albert, yeah, back in the day, yes. And I thought that's rather interesting, especially as I scrolled down on YouTube, and then there was actually a video about Prince Albert and his life. I didn't know a lot about him really, so I thought I'd watch the video. And yes, he was actually quite the innovator, which I didn't realise. And I did come to discover, much to my delight, that Queen Victoria and Prince Albert were on very good terms, and indeed quite firm friends, with Isambard Kingdom Brunel. What a man. Now, how marvellous is that? Having discovered that, yes, apparently they took one of the first train journeys, probably from London, I should think, to Slough, which is very close to Reading, where Les comes from, yeah. So there you go, there's the sort of tenuous links. And here's the box. So I did decide, right, yes, basically, that we would build a rather regal diddley bow, all singing, all dancing, and very fancy. And that is what I intend to do with this as the side project. And you may well remember, we had this single coil red pickup, which I was going to put into this build here. Yeah, but basically I changed my mind, largely to do with space on the box really, and a lot more to do with the fact that I saw a very nice humbucker pickup on the internet, which I thought would go rather nicely in there. A nice humbucker. Yes, so I decided I would buy a humbucker for this one, as I'm not going to build too many of these. And this will be mounted vertically in here. So we will have a single coil, 6-pot, 1-string instrument, yes, for our regal build. 1 or 2 other things. That's the plan anyway. Yeah. Thanks to all of you who did mention a previous build where I did this. SB Photographics, I think you mentioned my previous build where I did have actually an electric diddley bow with a horizontal, a vertical pickup. Do forgive me. I think that was the green machine. I don't have it anymore. It's quite an old video, but I thought, yeah, you know, it all just seemed to come together on that one. So I thought, why not? That sounds pretty reasonable to me. More on that later, and we shall get started with that very soon. Okay, to other business. During the festive season, I did acquire, and of course everything's all over the place, 1 or 2 metal tins. Here's one of them. There is another one somewhere, but yes, I've misplaced it, so more on that later. We may well do a canjo or 2, yeah. I've got my previous tin can banjo hanging up. It got rather dented when I moved up here, so I might replace the body on that. I'm not sure yet. I did have rather a nice can, but obviously I've misplaced it. So more on that later anyway. And brand 64, you did mention, even as something of an art piece, to perhaps create a train set diddley bow or something similar. I'm still thinking about that, but I could do something British Rail based. I did think. Yeah. So again, I'll be pondering that one. That's probably going to come sometime in the future between now and spring. And really, I think that's about it for today. So there you go, there's bits between the bits. Here's what I was looking for. This rather nice Peter Rabbit. If you remember Beatrix Potter stories, can, which did have some Christmas cookies in there. I thought that would make rather a nice little canjo. So I might either upgrade the old canjo and just use that neck, or I might create a completely different instrument. I don't know yet. It's got some pretty pictures around the side, and it's a very easy build, which if you fancied it, you could attempt yourself, and I'm sure you would get marvellous results for that. So yeah, the usual discombobulation, but canjos will also be making an appearance, because I think it's a while since we did any tin can instruments. And so there it really is, peeps. That's it from me for now. And it does leave only for me to say, wherever you are, do stay safe. Whatever you're doing, do stay blessed. And whatever life brings, keep building. Happy New Year, peeps. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now then. Bye.